Hello and welcome. It's now 11 a.m. We're here at K-Fair 2019 BASF booth, and this is the first tech talk of today. The topic will be plastic additives, fit for use in sensitive applications, safe, pure, and transparent, and how to apply these plastic additives in a way that these conditions are fulfilled. I have two experts here with me addressing that topic, who is Tobias Elze and Rüdiger Liske, and they're both regulatory affairs experts in food contact. And now the stage is yours. Thank you for having. Thank you for being here.
Thank
Have
you.
fun.
Thank you for the nice introduction. Today we want to guide you in this 10 upcoming minutes through the whole process we are spending in BASF to ensure safety and pure and sensible use for our additives in sensitive applications, mainly food contact. Why food contact? Food contact is a very important topic for plastic additives because a lot of plastic additives are going into packaging use or in food contact utensils, articles you use in your daily life. And if you have a safe use in food contact, then you have also a good base for other sensitive applications. And I always compare that a little bit with this ancient temple. You can see on the left side on the slide, every house, especially ancient temples with this high weight of stone buildings, need a good base and a solid base. And the solid base is food contact legislation. If you have the food contact legislation, everything is compliant with that, and it's really easy to get compliance with other sensitive applications like pharma packaging, cosmetic packaging, or constructions in contact with drinking water, here represented by the pillars of the ancient temple, and everything is then closed up with the roof. It's the general legislation of product safety. What else do you need if you want to ensure safety of your products? It's very simple. You have on the right side the keywords you are using and we have to take care of. That's one is the suitable purity control. You need a quality management in place. And you need, of course, to assess today, more than in the past, the degradation products and the impurities for a risk assessment regarding toxicology and safe use. And everything is closed up here with the declaration of compliance. That's our communication to customers, where we give this information to customers. What else do you have to do for a risk assessment for your additives before you can market it as compliant and safe? First of all, you have to consider the migration in the food, because that's the very important point. What is really exposed to the consumer, because that's very important for the toxicological behavior, because you're digesting it. That's exactly the second step, the toxicological assessment. After the migration, you know how much the consumer is exposed to this degradation product, to this additive itself. And from this toxicological assessment, you can derive tolerable daily intake. That means get a figure that gives you exactly the amount of a specific substance which can be digested per day with your food. And then, of course, you have to check restrictions worldwide. Is there any restriction also available from other areas? Or you have to define restrictions. You have to conclude that in your documentation for the customer, if it is necessary. And of course, it's the very important point is in the end, you have to file this risk assessment as part of your supporting document in your desk, ready to be used in front of enforcement authorities if they come to control, or if they want to know how do you conclude on the compliance. Unfortunately, I have to say this document is not available for customers, that's only for authorities. And with that, I hand over to my colleague for GMP.
Yeah, thank you very much. One legal requirement for the production of materials and articles that are foreseen to be used in sensitive applications is a GMP program in place. Good manufacturing practice can also be explained by 3 different keywords: compliant, consistent, and controlled. We have implemented for all our facilities that produce materials and articles foreseen to be used in sensitive applications, GMP. And in order to be compliant, this includes, beside the traceability, a regular training of personnel, as well as a quality risk assessment of possible byproducts. Furthermore, consistency is ensured by a product specification and a contamination prevention program in order to gain a pure product. I will go into this further in a minute. Finally, a quality control system and an internal and external audit, as well as a management of change, is implemented into the GMP program. So with this GMP program, we ensure that our products are compliant and suitable for its intended use. As said before, another important requirement is the prevention of cross-contamination that could influence the quality of a final material that is used in sensitive applications. For that, we have established a suitable purity program in our facilities that provides a method to establish allowable maximum cross-contamination values upon product changeover. These values are based on a risk assessment of each individual substance. We thereby define 4 different zones, as shown over here. Whenever there is a product changeover in a facility, we try to use those changeovers only between substances that are foreseen to be used in sensitive applications, as zone 1 is shown over here, or from sensitive applications into industrial use products, as shown in zone 4. Wherever feasible, the product changeover contamination is much below 1000 ppm and generally much lower, as we always do clean-outs between production runs. Any cross-contamination between industrial use products into sensitive use products must be avoided, as this would induce special clean-outs. So with this suitable purity approach, we guarantee that our products are very low of any impurity profiles. And I would like to hand over again to Mr. Lieske.
Now we are coming to one daily examples of the operative services we provide. It's most of you who knows the additives are well known with the Ergaphos 168, and that's a typical formed byproduct. It's the phosphate, which is part of the product and of course of the final articles, and it can be formed during the processing and the shelf life of the products. Therefore, it's very important to know here the safety limit, and that's a good example of something we are providing to customers with the safety limit, so that everyone can be ensured that the limit is kept and is safe. On the right side, you see a typical impurity from the synthesis of 1010, Erganox 1010. That's an impurity, as I mentioned before, it's only formed during the synthesis of the substance. That means it will be not further formed during the process conditions. Therefore, the final content, or at least the highest content with this NIAS, is delivered with the substance and will be reduced during processing. Therefore, it's a safety limit we have assured or assessed, but we keep it in-house because it's not possible that the customer can exceed this limit. On the left side with the phosphate, it's different. So you can see, since the 1st of January 2017, we have this as part of our declaration of compliance, information on our assessed NIAS, where we think it is important to know for the customer, to know their limit to ensure that in this stage of processing, wherever it is in the value chain, he is complying with the limits. That's an example of the ErgaFos 168, and you can see we give this information for the phosphate with a limit. It's spelled out or explained here in microgram per kilogram body weight per day, so that every consumer or every expert in the value chain can adapt this to his needs.
Yeah, so in the last couple of minutes, we showed you how BASF ensures that the products are fit for its intended use. This fitness for use program requires a lot of expertise, which we can offer. BASF is also committed to the principles of responsible care, and we continuously work on to ensure to have a transparent communication to our customers. As it was shown by the example before, how we communicate on NIAS in our food contact certificates. Safe products are a great value and also help with the sustainability work. And with this, we would like to thank you very much for your attention. And if you have further questions, we are here at the booth to answer your questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you.